Need more money, connections, associations, and what you would call a relaxed mind? Have you ever wondered why some folks are regarded as high flyers and successful people with results to show? You know the names. It's been found out that the difference between these high flyers and successful people is mindsets and how they think. Welcome to Baseline Beats with Benga. Here is this week's episode.
Today's episode begins with a story. It is the story of Daniel. And here it is. When I was a child, I used to look up to the sky and think of infinite possibilities for a life. I dreamt of a life that I desired, the one that I had created in my head. Something like a fairy tale. I was a child after all. Fairy tales are what I thought of. Yes. Everything was quite easy and I was happy too. But the world is cruel. Or so I thought, and so was I to myself. I never for once felt appreciated in my life. My parents would always tell me that I could do better when what I wanted to hear was, you did well, or just a simple very good. I often got compared to what my siblings did better than I did, and I think this is the story of almost every household. It was also the beginning of me getting lost in the whirlpool of conscience. I was starting to carry myself as others wanted me to, see myself as others see me. The illusion of making it necessary to fit in and the fear of being left out. These were my concerns at an age when I should be laughing with all of my heart. Ah, yes, I was made to believe that I should also watch how I laugh, not too loud, or it will look bad. Little did I know, all of this was just going to get harder as I grew up. It was made normal to be judged by appearances and the number of friends you have. Social skills or social life, they call it. And well, it is pretty obvious to fall for these stereotypes because everyone is doing it, or so it seemed. With faces glowing like sun, we all walk around every day as the race called life continues. In my heart, I found it very difficult but never admitted. What if it was wrong to do so? I thought. It hurts, but that's how it is. I used to tell myself I was vulnerable. My parents, who claimed to protect me, don't even know how these felt like hell. They probably just thought I was safe by just staying inside the house. And that was where I had to prove myself the most. All of these years, all I wanted to do was to get some recognition and approval. From whom? I didn't know. Anyone would do, perhaps, as I lived like everyone was watching me. But in the end, I realized the only approval I needed was from myself. It took me many years though. Today, I put up a wide smile just to look in the mirror and acknowledge myself. To say that I am beautiful and love myself a little more. Even though I wouldn't mind if someone else does that for me, but I also realized that it wouldn't matter much if no one does. And that's Daniel's story. One I reckon most can relate with. I am Benga. For what it's worth, today's episode is about self-love, as you should be able to tell from the story. But get into how you can cultivate these for yourself after this timeout. My Life by Adekunle is the song you would listen to. Don't go anywhere.
Ẹ̀rọ mi, ìrọ̀rùn lọ́bẹ̀ máa yí.
Bóyá náà.
Ẹ̀rọ mi, ìrọ̀rùn lọ́bẹ̀ máa yí.
Ẹbí mi kọ́ pé mo lówó. No be my power, say I buy house yo.
Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń sin ni.
Ẹbí mi kọ́ pé mo lọ́lá o. Olúwa ló fún mi lọ́mọ o.
Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń sin ni.
And Jehovah dey bless me, oh, make you no hate me. I no get your time, oh.
Bàbá ńlá níwájú ẹlẹ́gàn.
Na Baba God dey bless me, oh, make you no hate me. I no get your time, oh.
Bàbá ńlá níwájú ẹlẹ́gàn.
Oh na 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 na, mo ga ju ayé lọ, oh. Ẹ ò lè rí mi mú, ẹ̀yin kọ́ lọ́lọ́run mi. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń ṣe tèmi ọ̀. I'm higher than the world.
Moga moga,
Don't go get me o. Ẹ̀yin kọ́lẹ̀ lẹ́dàá mi. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń ṣe tèmi ọ̀.
make I live my life.
Instead, make you dey pray. You dey carry my gist around o.
Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń sinmi,
Instead, make you dey work yo. You dey carry my matter around o.
ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń sinmi,
Na Jehovah dey bless me o. Make you no dey hate me o. I no get your time o.
ìyọ̀kadà níwájú ẹlẹ́gàn.
Olúwa dey bless me o. Make you no dey hate me o. I no get your time o.
ìyọ̀kadà níwájú ẹlẹ́gàn.
Oh na 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 na, mo ga ju ayé lọ o.
Moga moga,
Ẹ ò lè rí mi mú, ẹ̀yin kọ́ lọ lọ́rùn mi. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń ṣe tèmi ọ̀, I'm higher than the world.
moga moga,
Don't go get me o, ẹ̀yin kọ́ lẹ̀ lẹ́dàá mi. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń ṣe tèmi ọ̀.
make I live my life.
Sábà yìí pọ̀ jù. Ẹ ò lè rí àṣírí ìwà tẹ̀rànjú kòkò mọ́. Ẹ ò lè rí. Ó ga jù.
Oh na 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 na, mo ga ju ayé lọ o.
Moga moga,
Ẹ ò lè rí mi mú, ẹ̀yin kọ́ lọ lọ́rùn mi. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń ṣe tèmi ọ̀, my blessing dey vex me o.
moga moga,
Lójọ́ fún Chineke, ìwọ kọ́ ló dá mi o. Jẹ́ ń ṣe tèmi o.
make I live my life. Moga moga,
Ẹ ò lè rí mi mú, mo ti bẹ ẹlẹ́dá mi o, kó máa tọ́ mi o. Mo lọ́jú kí lọ o.
moga moga,
Ẹ ò lè rí mi mú, ẹ̀yin kọ́ lọ lọ́rùn. Ẹ jẹ́ ń ṣe tèmi ọ̀.
Thanks for staying here. Self-love, self-respect, self-worth. Have you wondered? There's a reason they all start with self. That's because you can't find them in anyone else. Lucille Ball was an American actress, comedian, model, studio executive, and producer. And she said this about self-love: love yourself first, and everything else falls into line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. Profound. How then do you love yourself the way you are? Because you see, loving yourself will provide the basis for whatever improvements or accomplishments you want to make in life. How do you practice self-love? Here we go. Number 1, stop comparing yourself. I intentionally mentioned these first. For what it's worth, this is one point people trip over a whole lot of time, again and again. Comparison is a killer of self-love. And what happens when these comparisons are made is that we take our greatest flaws and compare them to someone else's greatest success. How unfair. Do you see how we unknowingly provide the foundation for fear already? You find that some person somewhere, it could be you, thinks about, okay, this guy has it all together. He's never had any challenge in all of his entire life. The lady looks pretty gorgeous. She must have had a privileged life all her life. And you see that the comparison, or the basis for the comparison, is your own flaws against how they are doing well, or you think they've been doing well. And that is an unfair comparison, just to put it in context. It doesn't matter what anyone else has tagged you. You hold the power. You are in charge. Realize that you write your story. You determine the trajectory of your life. Write that story well and make it beautiful. How you love yourself and consequently act will be pivotal to that happening, and seize it very well. You see, this is one thing I had to realize for myself some years ago, when it dawned on me that anyone could come up with whatever tag. I mean, you go to school, they give you results they give you some certain results either ways, whether you merit it or not, or you work for it or not, and all of that. You get these results and you see yourself through the prism that you've been handed in the process, and you say, if for instance all that you have there is you not getting good grades and being tagged a failure, and you see yourself as a failure because you got handed a piece of paper that says that. And for some others, they see themselves as successes, even though maybe that is not exactly what it is, or it could always be better either ways, And so You need to do better. You have your life in charge, or you have your life in your hands. Write the story well, and if I were you, I'd make it beautiful. Number 2 is this. Say good things about yourself. Well, this is not unconnected with my previous point. You find out that a lot of people are very conversant with what they can't do. Ask them what they can do, and it becomes a struggle. Why they have gotten caught up with what others can do, and they have not taken into their stride what they can do. It is what it is, folks. Start each day by telling yourself positive things. How beautiful or handsome you are, how well you handle the situation, how some people regard you, because again, take it for what it is. Some individuals definitely regard you, you just might not know them. And that's another thing we need to realize. Again, you think your life is what you think it is, but some others also look at your life and think he has a privileged life, and so you might not know them, but they exist. Those who envy in a positive light now what you have, who you are, what you do, and you think that you are otherwise or other way. But you need to change that. Learn to see yourself in a good light and say positive things about yourself. And here's the third point. Surround yourself with people you feel good with. And here we are again. Association. American entrepreneur, author, and motivational speaker Jim Rohn is famous for this. He said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." And he's right. We might not have the luxury of certain choices in life. This is one we have. Those we call friends, those in our inner circle. There are not many choices. Well, maybe there are that I'm not exactly aware of. But you see, out of the few that you have is who you can call your friend, who you can bring into your inner circle. You need to learn to make that choice a wise one. And so, learn just not to use that word pretty loosely and call anybody your friend. Make sure the people you roll with, or the people that are in your inner circle, the people that you will put in your association, are those of like minds, those you can count on, those who can be there for you, those who will bring you up and pull you up, not those who will pull you down. And here's a final point. Make room for healthy habits. Take care of yourself in all sincerity. What do you eat? How do you exercise? What do you spend your time doing? They all count. I recommend this. Take yourself out when you can. Don't wait on anyone to do it for you. And that's another thing. You find that people wait for some sort of approval from others. Those who you wait, okay, he will take me out, but what if he doesn't have time? What if he also is caught up with several other things that he has to do? You see, you need to learn to appreciate yourself, and so take yourself out time and again when you can afford it, that is. That's how far to go for today's episode. And here's how I'll end it. Robert Morley said, "To fall in love with yourself is the first secret to happiness." Very true. Morley was an English actor. Reach out to me for feedbacks, questions, and concerns via socials at Ben_Olubenga. Try Twitter and Instagram. Have a wonderful day.
Baseline Beats with Benga is a wrap for this week. For questions, concerns, and feedback, reach him on Twitter and Instagram at Ben_Olubenga. Until Baseline Beats with Benga comes away again next week, keep winning and enjoy the rest of the week.